Get ready for some major updates in the cruise world. We've got news on rising port fees, last-minute itinerary switches, and some exclusive cruise line accolades coming your way. Ahoy, travelers! It's Amy here with your weekly cruise news roundup and my thoughts on some of the biggest stories of the week. Cruises arriving in Boston are going to be getting more expensive. We've been seeing more and more ports adding fees, and now we can add Boston to that list. Starting in 2026, the Massachusetts Port Authority will charge each cruise a $3 a head tax, with the fee rising by $3 every year through 2030. By that time, the total arrivals fee will be $15 per person. Approved by the authority on February 11th of this year, this tax will finance most of a $105 million port improvement project at the city's Flynn Cruiseport. Now, one of these improvements is the addition of shore power that will allow ships with the ability to do so to plug into the power grid at port instead of burning fuel while docked. Now, Norwegian Cruise Line, Holland America Line, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Princess Cruises are among those with ships home porting out of Boston. In addition to home ported vessels, the port welcomes some 160 cruise ship calls from 20 different cruise lines. All of this adds up to almost 500,000 guests a year. Now, I have less issue with a fee that is being directly used to improve a cruise port than I am ones that are just going into a local fund that can be used in any number of ways. At least this means that cruisers are paying for upgrades that they will be using themselves. I do wonder where the money's going to go after the port improvements are finished, because I highly doubt that fee is going to go away. Are they going to continue with additional improvements, or is it going to go into a larger fund? Well, I've seen a few stories this week of cruises having to change ports due to congestion, so overcrowding at cruise ports. One was Virgin Voyages' Valiant having to forego its scheduled stop in Cozumel for Grand Turk on a cruise coming up at the end of this month. Now, while I am not sure this would be all that much of a disappointment for those who cruise often, as almost every Western Caribbean cruise stops at Cozumel. In fact, there were some who posted that they were excited about the change. Cozumel has the space to dock 10 ships at once, but will usually keep it to around 8 or fewer. Now, on the date in question, there will be 7 ships docked, including Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Legend and Miracle, and then Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas and Serenade of the Seas, as well as 3 additional vessels from Celebrity, Princess, and Regent 7 Seas Cruises. Now, these will likely be spread out over 3 different terminal locations at Cozumel. So would you be upset at the change or excited for a chance to visit Grand Turk instead? Now, the other change was a little more unexpected, as it was the Adventure of the Seas notifying its guests that their August 17th cruise will not be stopping at Coco Cay due to congestion. Now, considering that Royal is all about making sure that every cruise of theirs stops at one of their private islands, which keeps money spent on shore in the line's own pocket, this was really a shocker to me. In the letter sent out to guests, Royal Caribbean stated, "Due to a berthing conflict at Perfect Day at Coco Cay, we've adjusted our itinerary and will now visit Georgetown, Grand Cayman instead." Now, there's a little confusion as to why this decision was made, as the island can handle 2 ships at a time, and this leaves just the Utopia of the Seas at Coco Cay on that day. Maybe it has to do with they can only handle 1 large ship, although Adventure of the Seas is really not one of their bigger ships. I'm not sure. Maybe they're planning to replace it with another ship, but for now, it's just the Utopia showing up. Coco Cay is designed to hold 13,000 guests, and the combined number of both the Utopia and Adventure would be around 9,500. Unlike Virgin, who apologized for the change but gave no compensation, Royal is handing out onboard credit, with interior and ocean view cabins getting $50, balcony cabins receiving $75, and suites receiving $100. Then an additional $25 will be given to staterooms with 3 or more passengers. So the question becomes, are big ships causing overcrowding? Are we going to see this more and more often? Most lines are making bigger and bigger ships, even lines like Celebrity and Princess, which overall have smaller ships than lines like Carnival, Royal, and NCL. But Princess and Celebrity are still making their newer ships significantly larger than their previous classes of ships. Ports all have a maximum capacity that they can handle, not just usually how many ships can port in one day, but often how many guests they can handle at once. There might not be a solid number, but you can't have a whole bunch of giant ships there at one time. It's just going to overload the system. So having two of these larger ships holding 5,000 to 7,000 guests dock at a port, now that's a huge difference over two ships holding 3,000 to 4,000 guests. Now I think we're going to be seeing a lot of changes to ports and itineraries as ships continue to get larger. Some of the more popular ports like Cozumel will probably adjust and work to accommodate the larger ships and all the passengers that they bring with them. Other locations, especially those on smaller islands or small tourist towns, so it makes me think of things like New England, they're probably going to impose limits, forcing cruise lines to get creative with their itineraries. We may even see some new stops start popping up to help spread out all those cruisers. What are your thoughts on this? Have you noticed any overcrowding? Do you think this is going to become an issue? Are you hoping that maybe that it brings about some new stops? Let me know. Well, Celebrity Cruises announced a new honor no other line has achieved. They were recently recognized in Forbes Travel Guide's inaugural ratings for restaurants on cruise ships. Fine Cut Steakhouse on both Celebrity Apex and Celebrity Ascent were among only 6 restaurants by star-rated cruise lines that met the criteria for service, excellence, and culinary distinction. Celebrity Cruises was the only cruise line to have 2 restaurants awarded. Of course, it's the same restaurant on 2 lines, but it is 2 separate restaurants. Now, in a statement, the president of Celebrity Cruises said, "We strive to continually elevate the premium travel category by delivering a vacation experience that nothing comes close to, with intimate, small ship service on ships big enough to provide an exciting variety of experiences." Well, congratulations to Celebrity. We really enjoyed the food on our recent cruise on the Celebrity Apex, and while we didn't go to the steakhouse, we did experience La Petite Chef, which was amazing, and we thought that the buffet was the best we have ever experienced. I swear I'm working on getting videos out to you, but I've had a lot going on and a lot of videos and photos to go through and organize before I can even begin to decide how I'm going to organize my videos that I give to you guys. Well, this was a big week for everyone where I work as we implemented an entirely new software system, and this has been a long time coming. Dispatchers use a program called CAD, or Computer Aided Dispatch, and there are all kinds of versions out there. Now, my agency had been using the same one ever since I started almost 10 years ago, and it was old. And it really was very simple. This new software can do a lot more, but that means it also is more complicated and has a steep learning curve. Everyone was put through training last summer, but then the original plan to go live with the new CAD in early fall was pushed back as we were not ready. We knew, those of us in training, we knew. They kept saying, no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to go live. We're going to go live as planned. We knew. There was just no way, because during training, there were so many things that they would have to tell us, we're still working on this, or this isn't ready yet. How can you even do training when you can't see everything that the program's supposed to use? It was a huge issue. Well, they finally ended up pushing it back, and we were scheduled to go live this week. And then it almost got pushed back again because we had a big winter storm expected on the day after go live, which would mean that many people were using it for the first time during an event where we take in 10 times the normal call volume. And not just the dispatchers, but all of our officers as well. It was insane, but they decided to go ahead and go through it. Don't wait. Everyone made it through it. Thankfully, I did not have to. I work nights. I was not there when the storm hit, and the storm wasn't as bad, at least in our area, as they originally had predicted it to be, so that was a blessing. But it didn't happen without some hiccups. I heard about a few good ones. We had a command center set up to solve issues, and representatives from the company that sat in with us for the first couple of days. Now, I work overnights by myself and only had someone with me for the first few hours, and of course, Nothing happened until after their representative left for the night. I had notes that I had taken during training and lots of handouts to help me. I may have been slower, but I did manage to get everything done that needed to get done. It's going to take a while to get used to all the new acronyms and codes that we use, plus figuring out where everything is. It has to be put it in a different place than where we're used to, but I think it's going to be an improvement over what we had. I just keep telling myself that in 6 months, it will no longer be new, and I will no longer be worried that something's going to pop up that I don't know how to handle and deal with in the new system. And like I said, I work by myself, so there's not a lot of people I can ask. I literally have to ask somebody in our agency at a different location to help me, and then they're doing it over the phone. It's not super conducive in an emergency situation. Also wanted everybody to know that I'm going to be adjusting when I put out the weekly cruise news roundup videos. I've been trying to post them on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central Time, but often that just doesn't give me a lot of time to get the videos researched, recorded, and edited. Fridays tend to be my errand days, so I don't always have a lot of time to work on them. Plus, by the time I get my errands done, my brain is fried. I haven't slept. I'm too tired to think. And then on Saturdays, I go over to my mom's by noon to spend time with the family. So I'm often rushing to get everything finished, or I end up having to work on my editing over at my mother's house, which is just not something I really want to do. I'm going to try out publishing them later on Saturday evenings instead, and that way I have some time if I need it. But I may just allow myself flexibility on the timing and post when the video is finished instead of at a specific time. Hopefully those of you who are my regular viewers will be okay with that and set your notifications so you know when the video drops instead of expecting it at a certain time. Let me know if you think I should pick a time and try to stick to it, maybe something like 7 p.m., or just post it whenever I can on Saturdays when the video is ready. Let me know. Well, are you ready for more information on cruising? Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Have a blessed week, everyone.